1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony, until one day a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Game Week 8 deadline stream. Lots of stuff going on this week. Price rises galore. Wild cards. People taking hits. People taking out Man United players. Bringing in Spurs players. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to it. For everyone in the chat asking about Diaby and Saka, no idea if they start. Possibly. I think Diaby probably will. Saka I'm a little bit less sure about, but I don't know for sure. No Tau, yeah. No Tau. Definitely not. 9 PM here in Auckland. Not a bad time to be watching a stream. No Haaland draft. I'm not gonna build drafts on stream, to be honest. Just go for a regular draft, but take Haaland out, put another forward in, and spread the money around, Trent, etc. No, I'm not going to build drafts on stream, I don't think. Gavin, 13 months member, thank you very much. Wildcard activated. Turner Johnson, interesting. I don't think Johnson's a bad option, to be honest. Share. I wouldn't. Luka Dean and Cash. I mean, we keep saying Luka Dean's not an option because Moreno's going to be back soon. Surely Moreno's going to be back at some point, though. Burn Taylor, Mitoma, Sol, Madison, Saar, Spurs, Salah, Watkins, Haaland. Right. It sounds okay. I'm not sure about having. I guess you can have Saar in there if you. Well, you've got Saar. No, that team can't be right. You've got Saar and Archer, and you still have to have Taylor in defence. Like, where's all the money gone? Son, Madison, Salah, Haaland, and Watkins, I guess. I don't like that. That's a 4-4-2, basically, isn't it? I don't feel like your defenders are good enough to play 4-4-2 every week. So I feel like there's too many sacrifices made elsewhere for the attack, really. Ankit, member for 2 months. Morning, how's it going? Good morning to you too. Is Solanke a good shout? I think for 6.4 million, he's perfectly fine, yeah. Perfectly fine. 9 PM street. Well, not 9 PM here, no. Luka Dean, is he on 4 yellow cards? I didn't even realise that. Yeah, I did know that because someone told me, but I just forgot. Yeah, good point. No need to go there then, really. Like, is he on 4? Yeah, so if he gets booked this week and he misses Game Week 9, that'd be a disaster, I think. So yeah, I already did. I did Estupinian to Cash last night because it looked like Estupinian might go down. I did think it was probably unlikely he would go down, but it definitely looked like Cash was going to go up. And Cash did go up in price. He's now 5 million, which feels... I mean, it's probably not mad for what he can do, but still, he's gone up a lot. He was 4.7 million, not the Tuesday just gone, the one before. So it's taken, 10 days to go from 4.7 to 5 million. Crazy hype around him, but I guess I'm part of that, right? I've bought him in as well. I'm considering doing Saka to Madison for a hit just because of the fixture. I'm worried about his minutes, but he might start. In fact, he probably will start because, it's Saka. And I'm going to captain Son. I'm starting to feel a little bit calmer about this week. I'm not looking forward to today. Basically, all my differentials versus the Game Week 8 wildcard template play today, and that's horrible. Because I know that that's weekend over by tonight, basically, or not. So, yeah. I'm probably not going to wildcard now. I've got a team in mind, but I don't think I've given it enough thought to go with it this late. Like, if we got word that someone else was missing out, that would be a major problem for me. But we'll see. We'll see. I can see your midfield getting 10 points. Yeah, most people think that, but I tend to just ignore it, to be honest. I'm not. If Rashford and Fernandes start, I think they're okay. In Burmo is a little bit more of a worry, but I got to be honest, when I know he's probably going to smash it now, but I just don't see Ward-Prowse as this. I don't know, this player that I have to go out of my way to get in, and he seems to be the one that most people have got. So, thoughts on Raptors? No Haaland punt. I mean, I've not seen his team or anything, but generally, I think no Haaland can work. Yeah, I think no Haaland can work. You just need a bit of luck in game weeks 9 and 11 because I think he's best captain in that week. Outside of that, I don't think it's that bad really. I tweeted about it this morning. I think a lot of people are looking at it. I do think it's probably a little bit easier to go with just because he scored 6, 6 and 2 the last 3 weeks. Like, had he had a hat-trick or 2 in there, I think people might be thinking a bit differently. But yeah. Is Son better than Rashford? Yes. Yeah. Don't think anyone's denying that at all. Watkins, Gordon, or Alvarez Diaby on wildcard? Probably Watkins and Gordon, to be honest. Although obviously Gordon can't play this week because he's suspended, so just keep that in mind. One free transfer. Did Rashford to Son captain for a -4? Saka to Maddison or Estupinian to Porro? Have Trippier, Gabriel, Kabori, Gusto. I mean, Trippier and Gusto is fine. I think Gabriel's not that bad. So I'd be tempted to do Saka to Maddison rather than Estupinian to Porro. The only thing is, do you know what, actually? Saying that, next week your defence is going to be even worse. Well, I guess Kabori's got Nottingham Forest away, but Gusto's going to have Arsenal at home. Trippier's okay. Gabriel's obviously got Chelsea away. I mean, I guess it's okay. I'd be tempted to do the defender transfer, I think. I think Porro's pretty good next to. Can't wait to see the no Haaland squad bricking it next week when he faces a Brighton defence in ridiculous. Yeah, but people who are going no Haaland know that he's about to play Brighton, right? You just accept that. You just try and get a bit of luck in certain game weeks. The annoying thing about doing FPL stuff and talking about it is you get so many comments. All right, it's not just content creators, just people in general discussing on Twitter. You get so many comments. FPL is so boring. Everyone just has Haaland. They captain him every week. And as soon as someone says, "Do you know what? I'm going to go out about Haaland," all the comments are, "What are you doing? You're an idiot. You can't go about Haaland. What about when you got to captain him in game week 9?" It's fine to get rid of Haaland if you want to. Of course, it can go wrong. Just like no Salah over the last 7 weeks could go wrong. Like, it's not. If you're going to do it, now is the time to do it because of the fixtures, right? I'm not going to do it because I want to captain him in 9 and 11. But if you captain Salah against Everton at home in 9 and he matches or outscores Haaland, happy days. And then 11, Salah's got what? Luton away, I think? Like, it's not. Like, it's just this big thing. Just let people get rid of Haaland if they want to. And if you're so sure it's a bad decision, happy days. You're going to be ahead. You're going to be ahead. So if people want to do it, let them do it. Let them do it. I genuinely think, right, that no Haaland, no Salah, or owning both are all perfectly viable strategies the next few weeks. I think you have to decide on your risk appetite. Is it going to be fun for people without Haaland watching Man City versus Brighton at home? No, of course it's not. But if you get through it, then you're onto a winner, aren't you? And then all of a sudden other people try and catch up and maybe they start to get rid of Haaland when they shouldn't be. So, I don't know, you just can't win. You just can't win. You're either too boring or you're doing decisions that people don't want you to do. It's like, that's why, honestly, you've just got to ignore most other people, is my advice when you're playing FPL. I know I'm saying that while you're sat here watching me. I get that's kind of like a bit contradictory because I want you to watch. But if you've got a way of playing or a move that you want to make, just do it. Just absolutely do it. Don't worry about everyone else. Like for me this week, right, I got so many comments. You have to wildcard. You have to get rid of Rashford and Fernandes. And to be honest, I don't think they're bad shouts. But if I don't want to do it, I just ignore it, really. And I think I'll hold the wildcard later and hope for the best. I think like going no Haaland or keeping him is similar to my wildcard decision. Is there is there lots of reasons to wildcard this, even though I've missed the price rise? It's absolutely, but I don't think it's a no-brainer. I think it's perfectly fine to also not wildcard, and that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. And once Man United have blanked, once Rashford and Fernandes have blanked against Brentford, I will give up. I will give up. It's so... The worst thing for me, I said this on the YouTube members stream last night, is if I don't wildcard this week, I can't wildcard in Game Week 9. My team looks even better in 9 than it does this week. And so I'm going to have to wait until 10, and price changes are going to be off the charts again. Because if I'm panicking about wildcarding in 9, it's because Rashford and Fernandes are blanked again, which means they're probably going to be dropping in price again. So they're probably going to drop in price anyway. I think in Mbeumo, Fernandes and Rashford are all going to drop way before Game Week 9 deadline even gets here. So it's absolute nightmare. And also the other thing is, like, a lot of people are, if you're going with Haaland, a lot of people are dropping Trippier on wildcard, and I've kind of got him, so I'm kind of okay with that. Pickford's another one playing today, by the way. Pickford, Mbeumo, Fernandes, Rashford all play today. And I'm going to have triple Spurs in the 12:30. Oh, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Yeah, Raptors go. Loads of people are going about Haaland, by the way. I've seen people talking about it all week. Like, it's not like a new thing. Yeah, I wonder how many people will now do it, though, because they'll see Ross do it. I think sometimes it does help when you see someone else do a move like that. And you think, okay, well, if they're doing it, it is probably okay for me to do it as well. If Mbeumo scores, my rank goes up. Yeah, generally, that's how FPL works. It's not nice having to worry about your team before the deadline. Yeah, but, like, you can't have the perfect team every week. Like, obviously, I could wildcard now and have the perfect team for Game Week 8. But what happens in a couple of weeks if I want to completely change that team? I'm not happy with it going into Game Week 10. I can't keep wildcarding. By the way, I actually think my team is going to look all right. But I know it's going to take a -4 to do it, which is not ideal. But I'm going to have triple Spurs. I'm going to have Trippier and Cash. Pickford and goal. I could play Turner if I really wanted to. It's really just Mbeumo versus... I feel like it's Mbeumo versus Ward-Prowse and Rashford and Fernandes versus Diaby and Salah. But Diaby's a doubt, right? I think Diaby will start. But I'm not going to bring him in when he's a doubt. It's not going to make me wildcard. So I just need a little bit of luck with my Man United players. If Man United could win 5-1 with Mbeumo scoring a goal of some kind, then I'll take that right now, I think. I'll take that right now. Okay, let me answer some. Hang on a second. Let me answer some of these questions. Who's the most popular captain? I think it's going to be Son, but I don't think Salah will be far behind. I don't think Salah will be far behind. In fact, I wouldn't be complete... No, I think it will be Son, actually. I think it will be Son. What's their ownership levels at? Son is 32% owned now, and Salah is probably higher than that, actually, isn't he? Salah is... It's about the same ownership, so I think it'll be Son, just about. It'll be close. I don't like Kulusevski at all. His underlying numbers, like expected goals, expected assists, really not great, to be honest. The player that I'm thinking about bringing in is Maddison for Saka. But I got to be honest, there's a little part of me that wants to punt on Richarlison because I think he definitely starts against Luton. I've got no doubts about that. And if there wasn't a 2-week international break, I'd be pretty confident he starts in Game Week 9 as well. But I just think that's enough time for Brennan Johnson to be back. I don't know. Everyone's got Maddison, right? Or lots of people do. So going for Richarlison's a bit of a punt before wildcard. But Maddison's just the thing is, there's a world in which I don't wildcard in Game Week 10. I think it's very likely. I'm not trying to say that I'm not going to do that. I probably will. But, you know, one or two things, like one or two injuries could stop me wildcarding in 10. Like if Salah was to get injured, right? Very unlikely because he always plays. But obviously that would probably stop me wildcarding. So I'm better off getting Maddison just in case. Just in case. Ward-Prowse, Udogie and Diaby, or Bowen, Neto and Porro? I really like Bowen, but I think Ward-Prowse, Udogie and... I don't know, actually. Like, Udogie and Porro, okay, Porro's probably slightly better. Neto versus Ward-Prowse and Diaby versus Bowen. Do you know what? I kind of like the Bowen setup. Shouldn't matter for FPL, but could not bring in someone as unlikable as Richarlison. I don't worry about that stuff. FPL points is all I need. That was Wenger Boys. Yeah, it was Wenger Boys. You're showing your age, people. You're showing your age. I can do a captaincy poll, yeah? Did my tweet go out, by the way? Yeah, it did. Start a poll. Your Game Week 8 captain. Son Salah. I think it's hard because you only get 4 options. You only get 4 options to put in. Still have 0.5 million from my wildcard. Is there anything you'd change? Was planning on upgrading defense further in Game Week 10. To be honest, I'd be tempted just to do it now. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's fine. I can't really work out where all the money's gone unless you got low team value. I guess Watkins, right? Instead of, but you're playing 4-4-2. I can't work out where all your money's gone. That's my main thing. I mean, you could drop Johnston down to Areola, I guess, and spend some of that money on defence. Oh, no, there's nothing major I would change. Like, would I have Matoma for the next 2 game weeks? Probably not. I guess Diaby's a little bit injured, potentially. On wildcard, Haaland, Diaz, Cash versus Salah, Alvarez, Trent. I mean, if I was only going to have one of Salah or Haaland, it probably would be Salah with the fixtures they got coming up. So I guess Salah, Alvarez, Trent, I think. But, you know what? I don't put it back on me if you drop Haaland. I'm not taking responsibility for anyone that drops him. I think it's viable, but you're the one that's got to go through with it. So if you sell Haaland, don't come back to me saying, well, you told me to sell Haaland, because I have not done that at all. Not done that at all. Solanke, Diaby and Udogie versus Watkins, Anderson and Porro. I think Solanke, Diaby and Udogie is better. But again, is that a fair comparison? You're probably not playing Elliot Anderson every week, are you? He's probably on your bench. Maddison or Salah captain? I think Salah. I'd take the penalty taker. Yeah, I think I'd take the penalty taker. I mean, Maddison might be on penalties, but we don't know that. Start Flecken or Pickford? I think you've got to start Pickford, right? Pickford's another player that's going to drop soon, by the way. I will have no money soon. Use 1 free transfer on Eze to Bowen and bench Saka, or Estepinian to Cash and bench Saka, or save the free transfer and field Saka. I'd be tempted to do Eze to Bowen and bench him, to be honest. I mean, Eze's out, Estepinian's out. I think I'd rather go for the attacker. Like, Saka might start. I can't really... I wish I could tell you whether he's definitely going to start or definitely not going to start, but I just don't know. The last we heard is that he's going to... I think he's going to train today, and then they're going to see how he is. Same as Diaby, right? Play Turner or Areola. Ahmed, 26 months member, thank you very much. I mean, what would people in the chat do? Play Turner or Areola? Put your comment in the chat. I think I'll be tempted to play Turner. It's tricky though, because if it doesn't work, then because obviously Areola is your main goalkeeper now, right? So if it doesn't work, you're kind of saying to yourself, well, you know, rotating goalkeepers never works, so why did I do that? And Areola is at home, but Turner's playing against Crystal Palace side with a lot of injuries, and especially to key attackers. So I'd be tempted to play Turner, but I think if I was actually having to make the decision, I'd probably play Areola. I think that's just my main keeper. He's at home. West Ham's a better team. But honestly, I think the answer might be Turner. I think I would do Areola, which I know makes no sense. But that's probably because I've just been not screwed, but I've just had no returns from my goalkeepers at all. Not worth switching Botman and Kabori. It doesn't really matter. Botman's not going to play, so Kabori will just come on. Starting Burmo or Morris? Probably in Burmo, to be honest. Easier fixture. Remember, although Morris is at home, I guess. But yeah, probably in Burmo. Remember last week when I asked about Alvarez Chilwell for Watkins cash -4? I was lucky there. Damn. Did I say no to that? Did I? I mean, Chilwell was injured. I probably just said Chilwell to cash, didn't I? Yeah, if you did that move, fair play. Chaz member for 17 months, thank you very much. In Burmo to Richarlison for a 1 or 2 week punt. Can't afford Madison Porro without a hit. Have Son and Udogie. If keeping in Burmo, start him or Doku. I'd definitely start in Burmo over Doku, no questions. I don't mind Richarlison for a punt this week. I just worry a little bit about whether he'll start in game week 9. I think you can almost say for definite he starts this week, but will he definitely start in game week 9? That would be my worry. So, yeah. Do you think the game week 10 wildcard will be more template due to price rises? If so, is now the time to differentiate? I mean, not necessarily. I think there's more. I think theoretically, at least, there's more options on the game week 10 wildcard than there is right now. But yeah, prices might change that. But I don't think it would make me change what player I'm bringing in this week or anything. Who was I talking about then? Oh yeah, Richarlison. Yeah, I think he definitely starts this week. I just don't think they've got anyone else to start. I think it has to be Kulusevski, Son, Richarlison. Like I say, it's just whether he starts game week 9. What do you think about wildcard immediately after game week 8 deadline? Well, if you definitely wildcard in game week 9, then I would definitely wildcard straight away. I mean, you could wait until Saturday's matches are finished and then do it, but either way, I would do it today. If you're definitely wildcard in game week 9. I can do Diaby to Bowen, but that will price me out of Darwin to Watkins. Just keep Diaby or go big and hope Darwin smashes it. I mean, I would just keep Diaby if you've got him. Like, there is a chance he will start, right? And he's got some good fixtures, 10 to 12. I'd probably just keep him and roll. I mean, you sounds like you're having slight doubts about Darwin already, though, so just keep that in mind. I think Darwin's great this week, by the way. -8 to bring in Salah and then wildcard in game week 10. I mean, look, I'm a hypocrite. I'm taking a -4 probably this week. You want to try and minimise the hits as much as possible if you're wildcarding soon. So, like, if Salah's that big of a deal, would you not just wildcard to get him in? -8 as well. Like, I guess my question is, if you take a -8 this week, how much are you really changing on wildcard 10? I mean, I could get Salah for a -4 in game week 10 without wildcarding, but it means I'd have to keep Pickford and Mbeumo for a little bit longer, and I'm just not sure about that. But it could happen. Got 2 weeks to think about over the international break. Son in for Saka / Odegaard for -4. I mean, if you're going to captain Son, then I would get him in. It's got to be for Saka, right? The only thing I would say on Saka, like, it's easy for me to get rid of him because I can wildcard him back in. Keep in mind, you're probably going to want him back in game weeks 10 or 12. Reece James is back training. He is, although he's suspended for this game. I'm not going there anytime soon, I don't think. Luckily, when Reece James is back, the fixtures get bad, so I don't need to even worry about him. -8, Estupinian and Saka out. Porro, Madison in. Defender, Trippier, Gabori. Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, I think it's fine. Wildcard and stuff like that, depending. If you had Salah and Son, who would you captain? I'd like to think I would still captain Son, but Salah would definitely be in my thoughts a lot. Does the RB start? I don't know. We just don't know. I mean, he's going to train today, then they're going to make a late call on him, so there's a chance. Mackie's breakfast and Andy's deadline stream. Mornings don't get greater than this. Kulusevski, Son and Udogie for the Spurs triple up. Kulu is cheaper. No Arsenal seems a bit of a risk. I mean, not really. I don't think no Arsenal is a risk, really. They're playing Man City, Chelsea away. It's not... I mean, they can get returns, but it's not a risk. I don't... Look, I know this is going to be one of those deadline streams where you know, in 3, 4, 5 hours time, there's going to be loads of comments saying, "Oh, Kulusevski goal," but I don't think he's the greatest FPL pick, to be honest with you. How many points difference do you think there will be between Trippier and Burn next 4 game weeks? Probably not a huge amount. Maybe 8 to 10, hopefully. Could be more, but I do still have double Man United. I know. I'm a terrible FPL player, honestly. It's probably worth just switching over to someone else. Go watch someone that doesn't have double Man United midfield. That's my main advice for game week 8. Neto and Archer or Solanke and Chukwuemeka. So basically, Solanke. I think Neto and Archer probably. No, I don't know. I think Solanke is better than Neto. So how often are you going to use Archer? I still like 3-5-2 though, so I'm going to say Neto and Archer. On wildcard, boiled down to the following choice: Alvarez, Richarlison, Anderson, 3-4-3. Mubama, Madison, Neto, 3-5-2. So basically it's Alvarez and Richarlison. Well, I wouldn't go for Richarlison on wildcard, I don't think. It's just a transfer waiting to happen. So I prefer Madison and Neto. Mbermo to Richarlison, bench Ward-Prowse, or Diaby. Bench Ward-Prowse or hold and bench Mbermo. I just bench Mbermo, I think. Diaby or Ward-Prowse. I think Diaby's better long term, but obviously there is slight doubts over whether or not he's going to start this week. So take that into account. But after this week, I'd prefer Diaby to Ward-Prowse. My money is on Diaby starting, by the way, but again, I don't actually have to bet that that hypothetical money. So Neto went up in price. Everyone's gone up in price this week. It's been mental, the price changes. Start Awani, Dallo or Diaby. Oh, Dallo. Who have Nottingham Forest got? They got Palace away. I think I'd start Awani out of those lot. Just because of the slight doubts on Diaby. Is it worth a -4 to have one bench player coming on? Midfield is Saka, Sol, Madison, Sterling, Fernandes. Have Estepinian and Botman, Mubama on the bench. I want Diaby. I wouldn't take a -4 for a bench player. I would just pray, basically. Is Douglas Luiz a good option in your opinion? I won't be buying him, I don't think. He's on penalties. He doesn't really contribute much outside of that. 5.4, is that cheap enough? Not for me. I'd rather go for Neto or Gordon. Spend a little bit more. City lost to Wolves recently. I know. I actually don't know. I don't know if cash is that great of an option this week, to be honest. And then West Ham at home next week's not fantastic either. But there's just a lack of defenders for me to bring in. That's why I kind of went for him. Plus, he's rising in price, and I probably want him on wildcard. Am I doing another bet for subscriptions? I don't know. I lost. The last one cost me 100 quid, so I don't know if I want to do that again. I'll see. It depends whether there's an interesting one. I don't want to just make bets every week just for the sake of it. I thought the Mbermo versus Foden one was interesting. Did lose out in the end, frustratingly. More frustrating because I had to give away memberships and also I had Mbermo, so it was like a double whammy. Diaby, Darwin versus Diaz, Alvarez and wildcard. That's quite close. I think I would probably go Diaby, Darwin. Jandra, member for 6 months. Thank you very much. Thanks for the great advice. Don't listen to the haters. There's not really too many haters, to be honest. Things are usually pretty good in the chat and the comments. Just got to learn to ignore stuff. Like anyone that says, "Are you a Man United fan?" I just ignore that now. Anyone that says, I don't know, what else do people always say? There's no point in listening to it because you get. If I had Salah right now, people are like, "Oh, do you really need Salah?" If I don't have Salah, they tell me to get him in. So you just gotta tune it out if you can. It will be brutal this weekend, though. The comment section will be brutal if Man United don't perform, which could happen. I'm kind of glad it's not on. Well, I kind of wish I could watch it, but in some ways I'm glad I can't. Like, it's Chelsea in Ireland. The game at 3:00 is Chelsea away to Burnley. Probably not going to watch that. So I might there's not a huge amount of games to watch on TV after Spurs. Like Chelsea versus Burnley and Palace at home to Nottingham Forest. I'm not sure they're games that I want to watch, really. Depends, though. If nothing else is going on, I'll tune in. Diaby or Alvarez to start? Probably Alvarez this week, right? You'll be brutal if Man United do perform. I'll just be relieved, to be honest. I'll just be relieved. I mean, it's not like I've had loads of points from them. So, it's not like they would have smashed it. I mean, if they get hat-tricks each, then maybe that's a bit different. But I'm not sure Man United are going to score 6 goals. My gut feeling is Man United won't score 6 goals. Fazy, how's it going? How foolish? How foolish? I feel like I'm not saying that correctly. Is Foden and João Pedro to Son and Archer for a -8? I have a doggy Madison when I am determined to do this move for -4 next week. Is the additional -4 of doing it this week worth it? I mean, if you're going to take the hit anyway, then take the additional hit and captain Son seems okay. I mean, Foden, bad fixture. João Pedro, he started midweek, didn't he? So there's no guarantee that he plays. Did he start midweek or did he come on? Let me look at the Brighton fixtures. Oh no, he didn't start, so he probably is going to play. And they've it's Liverpool at home, could be okay. I'd be tempted to do it if you're going to captain Son and you're going to do it from -4 next week anyway. I'll be tempted to do it. Yeah, he came on. Sorry. Burn or Gabriel and wildcard. Have Cash, Porro, Carwell. I'd be tempted to have probably still Burn. I think just about. I'd have Gabriel instead of Carwell. I think. Haaland, great differential, less than 90% owned. Do you know what? I might keep him then. I might keep him. Maybe he'll score some goals soon. I mean, the thing with Haaland is he's still got 9 attack and returns so far this season. It feels like he's been quiet. Honestly, it feels like Haaland's had a really quiet start to the season. He's got 8 goals in 7 games and 1 assist, which I think is actually less than last year, but still, it's crazy. Hi Dan, I've sent 2 super chats, no response. You're in the wrong stream, I think. And also, I've just answered it. Start Anana or Turner? I think I would go Anana, but I'm a glutton for punishment, you know. I'd probably take the guy at home, I reckon. Against the Brentford side where Mbeumo is never going to score again. Would you start Morris or Saka? I mean, Morris is definitely going to start on penalties. I think Saka starts, so I'm going to say Saka. I'm still probably going to take him out for a hit though. Is Højlund an option? Yes. Cheap mid like Andreas, yeah. Højlund's an option. Is he better than Watkins or Darwin? Or Solanke even, maybe not. But I think as a punt with the fixtures Man United have got, he's not bad. I've done Rashford to Son, so expect a Rashford 13-point haul now. I mean, I really hope that happens. I hope Rashford and Fernandes both hit double figures, and you're massively punished by that move. I don't want you to be punished by the move altogether, because I want Son to do well, because I'm captaining him. But I do want you to get massively punished for selling Rashford. I'm sorry to say it, but that's how I feel right now. I need those Rashford points. Maddison or Haaland captain? I think I would go Maddison just because of the fixture. But if he's not on penalties, I'm not 100% sure about that. But probably Maddison. With Pickford and goal, I'm definitely going for Solanke. I think Solanke's great this week, honestly. I mean, there is part of me that thinks I should probably play Turner over Pickford. But I'm gonna stick with him. Honestly, I'm saying it now. Been a bit unlucky with Pickford. Been a bit unlucky. Let me just double check now. Expected goals conceded. Yes, I'm talking about XG again. Get over it, right? Expected goals conceded per 90. Everton are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're 8th. They're 8th. 8th best defence. 1.26 expected goals conceded, right? Teams worse than them. Forest, Liverpool, Brighton, Man United, Aston Villa. Although Villa have had some tough fixtures. Luton, Burnley, Wolves, West Ham, Fulham, Bournemouth, Sheffield United. Like the fact that I know Leno's a better goalkeeper than Pickford, but the fact he's got so many more points. Oh my God, 8th. We deserve a Pickford clean sheet. I know no one wants to see it, right? Pickford's ownership's really low, and people still love it every time we lose a clean sheet. But I'm telling you now, deserve a clean sheet. I know. Leno's a much better keeper. I'm not saying Pickford's great. Still though, 8th. Maybe they need to drop Pickford. We deserve a Pickford clean sheet, honestly. The thing is, I'm so kind of over Pickford at this point. Like I'm not. When he loses his clean sheet, I'm just be like, well, yeah, of course, it's Pickford. Don't even expect a clean sheet anymore. Once you move away from him, I would not be surprised if he starts getting clean sheets soon. Like the stats are pretty good. I know they've had good fixtures, but like that's why we picked him, right, in the first place. Salah, Diaby, Burn, or Saka, Odegaard, Trippier on wildcard. Probably Salah, Diaby, Burn. I would want Salah on wildcard, basically. Salah captain for me. Due some luck having owned Salah, Diaz, and Mbeumo for the VAR robberies last week. Yeah. I think Mbeumo should have had a goal last week. Should have had a penalty. Disgusting. That was worse than the Diaz decision for me. People will say Saka for Sheffield United at home is essential, but will say United assets must be sold ahead of Sheffield United. Yeah, I mean Saka is great, and Arsenal are playing better, and he's on penalties versus Rashford, and it is at home versus away. But I kind of get what you're saying, yeah. That's kind of how people think though, because they've blanked quite a few times. That's it. They're just duds now. And look, to be fair, Man United haven't played that well, but I still believe that Man United attack has not been as bad as the defence. And Fernandes in particular, I think, has been a bit unlucky to not get more returns. Rashford, there are questions over Rashford in terms of performances right now. Ten Hag keeps getting asked about it. I know some people are convinced that there's a chance he gets dropped. I don't see it. If Rashford does get dropped, though, I can see a rage wildcard coming on. Although I guess I could just transfer him out at that point, but still. Frustrating. Oh God, I need Man United returns so badly. So badly. So many questions in this chat. There's quite a few people watching, yeah? Make sure to hit subscribe. Hit that like button. I don't see Rashford getting dropped either. I think... look, I don't think you can say it's a 0% chance for anyone, but I think it's like less than 5% chance. Maybe even less than 2. I don't think Garnacho has played amazingly well either. SGP now for cash or Poro. Wildcard next game week. If you're wildcard next game week, I'd go Poro. Michael, thank you very much. Simon, have a great team. Have a great team if I take a -8. I mean, you can say that probably most weeks. Botman to cash, Saka to Diaz. Good idea. I mean, Saka to Diaz is okay, I guess. I'd probably just keep Saka in that situation. Botman to cash, if you've got no other defenders to play, then sure. But if you've got 3 good defenders, I wouldn't do it. Do I think Trossard starts? I mean, presumably he will, right? Because Martinelli's not back, as far as I know. I don't know. The one thing to kind of say is, who did they play against Man City in the... Havertz started in the Community Shield, didn't he? So would he put Havertz in? I mean, Jesus played on the left 2 game weeks ago, I think. So it's not a guarantee that Trossard starts. I mean, I guess it makes the most sense with Martinelli out, but it's not a guarantee. Do you think we'll get any early team news for the earlier fixture? We might do, yeah. I mean, I'll certainly keep an eye out on it. But I think most players will hope, like Maddison, Richarlison, Son, Udogie, Porro, I'll be pretty confident of them. Best SGP now replacement before wildcard 10 have true. I mean, I like Porro, to be honest. Otherwise, probably cash. Dallo, if you really want some pain. Can you spend 2 minutes making a no Haaland draft and say you're not tempted? So much points potential elsewhere. I mean, I'm not wildcarding, so... I mean, I would be... If I was wildcarding this week, I would be tempted to go for no Haaland, yes. Would I go through with it? Probably not. I've looked at no Haaland drafts already. Would you do Estupiñán, Porro, Estupiñán to Porro and Wissa to Darwin for a hit? I'd probably just do Estupiñán to Porro and not take the hit. But I do get the appeal of Darwin. Trippier, Diaby, Darwin versus Burns, Salah, Archer. I'd probably go with the one with Salah. Would you play double Newcastle defence this week or Estupiñán to cash for a -4 and bench Burn? No, I wouldn't. If you've got Cher and Burn, or Trippier and Burn, I would definitely play both of them. With no chance I'd take a hit for that. Is Sterling starting today? Honest answer is I've got no idea. I think he will, but there's lots of Chelsea fans that think it will just be Palmer and Mudryk again. So he is, I guess he's a doubt. I think he'll start, but I guess they won 2-0. Could he keep the same team without Sterling? It's possible. I just felt like Sterling was absolutely nailed in that team, but maybe Palmer is... Maybe Palmer's more of a risk than I gave it credit for. I'm just a little bit worried about how many Chelsea fans think Sterling might not start. I don't think I'd take Sterling out for a hit, though. But then again, I'm doing the same for Saka, so maybe I'm just a massive hypocrite. Thoughts on Trent on wildcard? I mean, if you've got room for him, I really like him. I personally, from the drafts I've made, I just don't see where he fits in unless you're going to drop Haaland. But overall, great option, great fixtures coming up. There's a lot of players that may or may not start this week. Diaby, Saka, Sterling. This feels like such a tricky week, especially with international break straight after it. I'm not wildcarding in Game Week 9. If I definitely... Well, I'm not planning on wildcarding in 9. If I was definitely wildcarding Game Week 9, then yes, I would hit the button straight away. What are you waiting for, I guess? Got Estupiñán and Botman injured and having to play Kabori unless I take a -4, probably to get Botman out, but for who? Is it worth it? I think I'd make... I mean, I guess in a roundabout way, you could say I'm doing Saka. No, I've already done Estupiñán's cash, so I've not taken a hit for my defence. I'm going to leave it at that. Would I take a hit to not play Kabori? I'm not sure I would, to be honest. I mean, Estupiñán and Botman will start falling in price, I guess. I mean, yeah, you could do Estupiñán to Porro just to not play Kabori, but I don't know. I'd probably just hope for the best and play him. Hope he doesn't get minus points. I guess, I don't know. I mean, we're not expecting Kabori to keep a clean sheet. There is a chance that he concedes enough goals to go down to a one-pointer. So then you're hoping the player you bring in gets a clean sheet. But who is that? Like Porro, Cash, a Newcastle defender maybe? There's no guarantees there. They're all playing away. I'd be tempted to take a hit. Estupiñán to Porro or Estupiñán to Cash, but I'm not 100% sure it's worth it. Drop Saka or Foden for Son before a Game Week 10 wildcard. Probably Saka. Lascelles over Cash this week. I already settled on Porro and Burns for the other two spots. I would play Cash. Dalo, yeah, Dalo. Thoughts on price rise on Watkins, Cash, Madison. Do you think I'm not sure what you mean by thoughts on the price rises. Do you think Bowen is essential this week? Nope. I don't think anyone's essential this week, really. Like, you could even argue Son's not essential. Like, if you've got Salah, there's your captain. Would you prioritise a Liverpool attacker like Diaz over getting Trent? I mean, I'd prefer Diaz and a 5 million defender over Trent and a 5 million midfielder, probably. It depends how much money you've got to spend on those different combinations. I think Trent is probably a better FPL option than Diaz, but it's not only that you've got to consider. Basically, there's a lot of cheap defenders that are good value. There's not a lot of cheap midfielders that are. Yeah, this is Rich. This is exactly my worry, right? If those that haven't wildcarded Game Week 8 get punished this weekend, there'll be a huge knee-jerk Game Week 9 wildcard, even though it wouldn't make sense. I completely agree. Like, it makes much less sense for me to wildcard in 9 than it does this week. That's why I'm worried, because if I do get punished, I'm going to have to... If I get punished, that means the prices are going to change again, and I've got to sit through a whole bunch of other price changes. That is my biggest worry. I mean, I've got lots of worries this week, but that's one of the biggest ones. Like, if I go... So let me just show you this a second, all right? If I just Let me just leave that there. So this should be working. So this is on Fantasy Football Hub. As always, links in the description below if you want to check it out yourself. I've already done the cash move, right? Let's say I do the Maddison move as well for Saka. This is my team for Game Week 8. But for Game Week 9, this is what it looks like. So that's probably easier to see. I mean, hopefully Turner will keep his place. So if he does, I've got Turner against Luton at home. I think I showed this on team selection earlier. Trippier for Crystal Palace at home. So I haven't got Davern, I've got Trippier, who is better, right? Cash against West Ham at home. Udogie against Fulham at home. Then Maddison and Son against Fulham at home as well. United players against Sheffield United away. Mbeumo against Burnley at home. And then Haaland and Alvarez against a poor Brighton defence. And I've still got one transfer to use. So that should not be wildcarded, that team, at all. But obviously, if I get smashed in Game Week 8, there is going to be a temptation. I mean, obviously, it's different if, I get smashed and Rashford gets injured and someone else gets injured. Then obviously, I've got a, maybe wildcard because I might need to do it. But, yeah, if I can get through this week, then my team looks better in Game Week 9 than it does this week. So, plus ratings are pretty good. Definitely getting points. Predicted points, 68.9. That's massive. Massive. So, yeah. Yeah, of course it's the Man United players, but look, I just have to take the price drops. They got Sheffield United away. I could transfer one of them out. I mean, I've got this team plus one transfer. If Turner plays in Game Week 8 and he does all right, then I'm going to assume he plays against Luton, in which case I don't need to transfer Pickford out. And also, I've got Botman on the bench. If he's back, that's another defender to cover any injuries. So I could even do Rashford to a Jota or a Diaz, or Alvarez to Højlund. That's one thing I'm thinking of, right? People are so against Man United players. One of my moves next week could be Alvarez to Højlund and go triple Man United against Sheffield United away. Just go gung-ho for one more week, and then just do it. Predicted points are based on Man United players actually doing something. That is very true. That is very true. So yeah, I agree with what Richard said though. It's going to make less sense to wildcard in 9. Oh my god, Alvarez to Højlund. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, it doesn't make sense really because Alvarez is probably better at home to Brighton. SGP now for cash or paro. Basically, cash for the next 5 game weeks, paro for the next 2. We all seem to score every game. Yeah, I don't think cash is necessarily that great, but I think long term is a good option. I can only get Son for a hit. Is it worth it with reduced minutes? If you want to captain him and you're taking someone out that you don't think is going to score many points, it is. Otherwise, probably not. Sterling and Mbeumo and Archer start 2 of them. I'd say Sterling and Mbeumo. Just hope they both start. I'm on a wildcard and can't decide between having Salah, Burn, Archer, or Bowen, Trippier, Darwin. Well, I would want Salah, so that's the route that I would go. Rusty, new member, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Ben, Zinchenko, Bowen, or Diaz, Gay on wildcard. Zinchenko, Bowen, almost certainly, I think. Man United attack wasn't even good last year. True, although Rashford did score more goals than all the Arsenal midfielders in the Premier League. I mean, I've been rolling that stat out since game week 1. It's not helped me much this year at all. But yeah, Man United attack pretty poor, but players still got points. I would play Mbeumo over Archer. I think I wouldn't want to bench a penalty taker like that most weeks. I mean, Archer's got a great fixture, Fulham away. I mean, there is maybe an argument to be made that I don't need to take the hit for Maddison. If I'm really worried about Saka, I could just play 3-4-3. I don't know. I just feel like Sven Botman has messed up everything this week. If Botman was fit, I would just be doing Saka to Maddison for free. So that's why I'm tempted to just take the hit, because I wanted to make that move anyway. It's only because of injuries that I've been screwed over, like everyone else, to be fair. So I could play 3-4-3 and not get Maddison. Is Maddison worth 4 points or more over Archer this week? That is the question. I think because it's Luton away, I'm willing to take that risk. And because it's Man City at home, I'm willing to take that risk. But it is a risk, for sure. You surely have to start Saka. I'm probably going to sell him. I'm going Haalandless this game week. Rank's poor anyway. Going to try something different. I do get that, but just remember with overall rank, it's very early in the season. It can quickly change. So, of course, if you think no Haaland is a good strategy, then do it. But don't do it just because your rank's bad, is what I would say. And I shouldn't whistle on stream. Madison free kick coming. Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully. If I buy him. If I don't, I hope he blanks. If money's no question, would you go Trent over Trippier? Ooh, good question. Good question. I think because of the fixtures, yes. Like, Trippier's fixtures aren't bad at all. I'm happy to have him. But I think longer term, like for the next 5 to 6 weeks, Trent's probably slightly better. So I'd probably go Trent. But I do think Trippier is that good that you've got to hesitate on that. And Newcastle defence is probably as good, if not better, than Liverpool as well. Telling you, Saka starts, plays 32 minutes, 4 points banked. He got an assist before that. Could happen, yeah. So can Madison score 8 or more? Possible. What's your thoughts on... I already have a Doggy Cash and Douglas Luiz or Porro and Richarlison for a... You already have a Doggy Cash and Douglas Luiz or Porro and Richarlison for -4. Or do I bring a midfielder in and play Kabori for no hit? Chris, I got no idea what that means. It sounds like you've got like... You already have a Doggy Cash and Douglas Luiz or Porro. I don't get that. And Richarlison. I'm not sure what you mean. You're obviously asking about a transfer, but I'm not sure what the transfer is. Is Wilson a differential? He always scores against West Ham. He is a differential, but that's mostly because he's been injured. It's not even a guarantee he's back in the team. So, I don't know. I mean, Isak obviously started against PSG, so maybe Wilson comes back in. They said late test. I don't know. It was only a minor thing, so maybe he starts, but I don't know if I would risk it. I'm not wildcarding, no. I think at this point the decision's pretty much been made. Unless we get some major last-minute news, which I'm not sure is likely. I'm probably wildcarding Game Week 10. I already have a doggy, so bringing Cash and Douglas Luiz or Porro and Richarlison for -4, or do I bring it... Chris, what are you doing? You don't need to write what are your thoughts on, right? If you've got a lack of space, just put the question in. Would you go Ward? God, I'm very hungry. My stomach's rumbling. Almiron or Neto on wildcard? I mean, Almiron. I kind of get the shout, to be honest. What's Almiron's stats so far this year? Oof. I'll go Neto, I think. Any team news on the towel? I almost put a towel over my t-shirt. Oh, by the way, right, for those people that watched last week, so I was setting the stream up today, and it did crash. It did exactly what it did last week, apart from this time I noticed it. So I've really got to keep an eye on that. I really don't like Lascelles as a pick. Now, if Botman ends up being out for a while, then... I need to shave as well. Such an itchy nose. It could look good, but if Botman's back for Game Week 9, Lascelles is straight back out the team. And so you're blocking a Newcastle spot. I just think that I'd rather go Charlie Taylor or even Lamptey. Come on, go for wildcard. Nah, I'm pretty calm about the whole situation now, I'm afraid. I hate to say it. Wildcard, Trippier and Pau Torres and Alvarez or Burns, Schär and Watkins. Probably Burns, Schär and Watkins, I think. Am I not afraid of the early kickoff curse? Not really. I mean, basically, the early kickoff curse is there for people to have an excuse when they don't want to captain a player. But as you'll see, when people want to captain someone like Son, they don't even mention the early captain curse. I just don't really take too much note of it. I also think it's probably slightly different for Spurs because they're not playing in Europe. So they haven't had like a Wednesday Champions League game, then straight to the early kickoff. If you know Saka doesn't start and Son is on the bench, do you wildcard? I mean, probably, but at this point, I really don't want to wildcard. Just because I don't think I've put enough thought into it. Like, I've got a draft in mind, but maybe I should build that draft right now, actually. Just in case. That'd be a nightmare, wouldn't it? United are finally turning up today. You have covered the Son captain. Saka will play in Snake of Pen. Yeah, it could happen. I mean, if Saka starts, he's definitely capable of returning against Man City at home. Obviously, he's great, right? We all know that. Oh, seriously, I can't stop itching. Play Areola or Turner. I think I'd go Turner. I don't know, that Crystal Palace team's got a lot of issues. Alvarez to Watkins -4. I wouldn't take a -4, no. Just take out Alvarez. He should start. Also, I know the Alvarez to Højlund move in game week 9 sounds a bit crazy, but it is after international break. If there's any doubts about Alvarez starting, I'll be tempted, just to go for that punt for 1 week only. But if he's going to start, I really don't want to do it. Newcastle defender or Bowen start? Definitely Bowen. Would you go Ward-Prowse for Eze or Richarlison / Bowen for Eze? But I would need to take a -4 to take Estupiñán out for funds. I prefer Bowen longer term, so I'd be tempted to do that, yeah. Yozit, member for 24 months. Thank you very much. Free hit. Oh, man, you've got to put the right names in. Now you've got to make me figure out who all those players are. I guess Leno, Colwill, Porro, and Anderson, I guess. Is that Newcastle Anderson? Bruno Fernandes, Son, Salah, Maddison, RES. Is that Rasmus Højlund? Oh, man, I don't know who that last bit is. Is it Haaland and Højlund? CLEW. I don't know who that is. I should say I've not thought about free hit at all, but Leno in goal looks pretty good. Best Sterling replacement for 6.7. I mean, probably Diaby if we knew he was definitely going to start. Without that, I would say... I guess Ward-Prowse. I guess Ward-Prowse. I already have a doggy, so bringing Cash and Douglas Luiz or Porro and for a -4, or do I just bring in a midfielder for no hit and play Kabori? Okay, so is it worth... Oh, sorry. So you're basically taking a -4 to not play Kabori. I think I would just play Kabori. No, I would probably take the -4 and get Porro for the next 2, I think. If I'm reading that right. Since Spurs have struggled against low blocks on captain and Salah, and Brighton have been struggling lately, and Son unlikely to play 90. I think Salah captain's great. Yeah, I think Salah captain's great. 3-4-3 or 3-4-3 or 3-5-2. That cheaper mid just frees up money. I mean, that's fine if you want 3 forwards, but if you don't, then don't worry about that extra money, I guess. Did I consider playing Archer instead of the -4? I did consider it, and I think there is merit in maybe just playing Archer, but I'm just going to take the risk on Maddison with such a good fixture. I cannot. Looks like I've done drugs or something before I started. I'm definitely shaving today. Crazy that it's another hour till deadline. I know, but it was such a big week. I started early. Any early team news today? Nope, not yet. Yeah, make sure to like the stream if you're enjoying it. If you're not, I guess why you're watching. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Do. Wildcard drafts are pointless because of the price changes. I'm not sure what you mean. Sterling to Bayern for a -4. It seems a terrible idea because I have double Newcastle defence. I mean, I would just risk that Sterling starts, but there's definitely doubts there. Fernandes, Neto, or Bowen Diaby on wildcard. Probably Bowen and Diaby. Thoughts on Trent on a no Haaland draft? I'd be very tempted, yeah. Very tempted indeed. It's not hay fever, no. I can't do this for another hour, though. Yeah, Richarlison, I'm so tempted by instead of Maddison. So tempted by him. It's just if Brendan Johnson was out a little bit longer, I'd be seriously tempted by Richarlison for a 2-week punt over Maddison. But Brendan Johnson possibly being back for 9 just worries me too much. But I think Maddison gets 80 minutes today. Really do. I think Maddison just makes more sense overall. So I think this is the first week where Harden isn't the most captain player. I wouldn't say for definite because he's always just super high captain, but it could be. Yeah, for sure. He'll still be over 100. Basically, if you're not captain in Harden this week, you probably want him to blank. I'm sure he'll still be over 100% effective ownership. He's so close to 100% ownership, right? If you knew that Saka would play 90 against City, would you still sell him for Maddison? No. No, not for a hit. I'd keep him. I mean, if Richarlison doesn't start in 9, then obviously I could just transfer him out. Oh, God, I'm yawning already. I could just transfer him straight back out, but then obviously I'm then using up my transfer I can't use elsewhere, whereas Maddison's a bit safer. You're keeping me up. You're keeping me up here. -4. Gabriel and Saka out for Van Dijk and Szoboszlai / Diaz wildcard 10. No, I don't think so. I'll just play Gabriel, maybe sell Saka if you need to. Little light on money, so the question is Son and Solanke or Saka and Watkins. I think from game week 10 you'd probably prefer to have Saka and Watkins, but for the next 2 game weeks I think I'd prefer Son and Solanke. Saka is he's a doubt, right? He's in contention. That's all we know. That's all we know. Odds on shaving live on stream. I mean, I could just go and shave off camera and come back, but probably take too long. Well, I was out for a long walk this morning. I think I did like 4.3 kilometers, something like that. That's what I usually do in the morning. Around that. Sometimes I go further, but not today. I decided to do back squats in the gym yesterday after not doing them for 2 weeks. And I hate like how a lot of people, they always seem to just be able to not do something for weeks and then do it, but it just kills my legs. So I couldn't bother to go further this morning. Would I get Lamptey on wildcard? Maybe, but I'd probably go Charlie Taylor, I think. You want to go for a shower, but you don't want to miss any 18s. I mean, it's not going to take you 56 minutes to shower, is it? So you'll be back anyway. All right? Not a big deal. Why am I giving someone shower advice? What's your Sky moves? I'm not actually sure. I'm going to look at it after this. I think my main thing in Sky is that I probably need to get Arsenal cover soon. I probably need to think about how I'm getting Rodri back. And what was the other one? Rodri, Arsenal, and something else. I put this in. Let me see. Oh, Dunk. In one of my teams, I need to get Dunk back. So that's what I'm thinking about. So I've got Eze to sell. I did Dunk to Eze a couple of weeks ago, and Eze's done nothing. Now he's injured. So I'm probably going to do Eze to Saliba, I think. But I might go to Maddison first. I've already got Son and Basuma. Anyway, no one's that interested in Sky. I'm top 1k in Sky, though. See how long I can keep that up for. In Burmo to Ward-Prowse -4, or who else do you suggest? I would suggest just keeping in Burmo, not take a hit. Play Flecken or Areola. Areola. Areola versus Johnston. Definitely Johnston this week. I'm in Mallorca, so 1 hour ahead. Just got team news and Son is centre back. Ouch. Ouch. Oh my god. It's so bad yawning on stream, I apologise. If Haaland gets injured today, I'm wildcarding game week 9. But also, he's not playing today, so that's probably not going to happen. Leno or Pickford, definitely Leno. Free hit, don't want a wildcard until after the international break. I wouldn't free hit this week. Thing is, if you're free hitting this week, you're going to get that team back. That's then going to force you to wildcard. So if you're going to wildcard in 9 and you're going to free hit this week, you're better off just wildcarding this week and saving your free hit. You don't want to use both, one after another like that. Not for 8 and 9. Why is no one captaining Haaland? Just fixture. There will be a lot of people that captain him. Oh, by the way, I did the captain poll, didn't I? It's had over 11,000 votes. Let's just end it there. Son 56. This is for people in the chat. Son 55%, Salah 26%, Haaland 11%, someone else 6%. There you go. Son is going to be the most captain from people that watch this channel, at least. Am I playing Pickford ahead of Turner? Palace have a lot of injuries, so I think Turner's the better pick. I kind of, do you know what? I somewhat agree with you. I do, and I just think I've got to go for the guy playing at home, even though they've not been great at home so far. Took me in Saka to Son for a hit. Saka might not start. Son will start probably, and he's playing Luton, and you can captain him. I'm just really worried that Luton will sit deep and be hard to break down. The thing is, I said this on Final Thoughts yesterday, which was very long. 48 minutes. Madness. If Haaland or Salah were up against Luton away, we wouldn't be sat here saying, oh, do you know what? I'm worried that Luton are going to sit deep. Can't captain Haaland, can't captain Salah. But for some reason for Son, it's like this big issue. And I fully get the argument that he's better against high lines, right? I get that. But he's not. It's not like he can't score against a low block. He's one of the best finishers. He gets a chance, it's going in, right? So, I don't know. There's just like this big worry around low blocks for Son. No. When Haaland's got Luton away, I'm not going to be sat here having to field questions about low blocks. Is Haaland that much better than Son in that kind of fixture? I don't know. I think it's overplayed. Gotta be honest. I get it. No, I'm not saying there's no differences. I'm not saying there's nothing in the argument, but I think it's overblown. I think it's a big worry for no reason, to be honest. I really do. Like, surely Salah is better getting to run in behind, right? Someone steps right up, Salah gets to run in behind as well. Surely he's better for that. But we're not going to worry when Salah's playing Luton away, are we? I don't know. I just think a big thing is made of Son playing against low blocks. I mean, I would love Luton, the centre backs, to come and stand on the halfway line at all times. But no, again, I get it. I'm not sat here saying you're all idiots. You've got it completely wrong. I know there's something in it. I'm just making the point that I don't think there's enough in it to be worried. Yes, of course, Man City are better than Spurs, and Haaland is better than Son. I get it, right? But I don't think. I just don't get what the worry is. I just don't get what the worry is. The Luton Son question is probably also the fear of moving the captain off Haaland. It's a big deal, so we're overthinking. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. I mean, I get it, right? If you've got Salah and Son, there's a genuine conversation to be had, right? Son scored 20 points away at Burnley. They aren't exactly attacking, but they did try and play a bit, right? And they did step up a bit. That's what people are kind of saying. This bit might get clipped later. I mean, Son could blank. I'm not saying it's impossible for Son to blank. And Luton could defend so deep he doesn't score. But I got to be honest, I'm just looking at Son against Luton away on paper. I'm just not particularly worried. Surely Luton will set up to stop Son making Richarlison the play. But then again, so are we saying when Liverpool play Luton away, well, You know, who are Luton going to want to cope with? They're going to want to cope with Salah. Therefore, Luis Diaz is the play. We just wouldn't do it, would we? So I think people aren't giving enough credit to Son, really. But you know what's going to happen now? They're going to defend really deep and he's going to blank for like 70 minutes, then get subbed off. So it could definitely happen. If I had Salah, would I captain him over Son? I'd be tempted, but I think I would go with Son. Used to know. What's the obsession with Pickford? It's no real obsession, to be honest. I couldn't be any less obsessed with Pickford, I would say. Top of my min league and now no Haaland. Here we go. Good luck, Liam. Going for wild card. Out Pickford, Gabs, Estupini, and Kabori, Saka, Bruno, Rashford, Morris, Mubama. Nice. In Areola, Udogi, Anderson, Byrne, Diaby, and Burmo. In Burmo. Nice. Okay. Son, Watkins, Archer, and Shaw, Man United, and Saka out. Thoughts? I mean, I probably wouldn't have unless I was going no Haaland. Oh, you got no Haaland though. Interesting. Oh no, sorry, you haven't. Yeah, if I had no Haaland, I'd think about maybe keeping Fernandes. But ultimately, if you're keeping Haaland and Salah, I think getting rid of Man United and Saka sounds fine. You've just done Saka to Bruno Fernandes. I really hope that works out. Really hope it works out. Lascelles or Lamptey for a 4 million defender? I'd probably go Lamptey. Neto or Ward-Prowse for wildcard? Probably just about Ward-Prowse, but don't feel that exciting. How likely is it that Luka Dean will be benched till game week 9? I think he'll start 8, and I think he'll probably start at 9 as well, but he is on 4 yellow cards. I also have Botman, Saliba, and Kabori. Is it wildcard worthy defence? You're getting close, but I don't know, if you already got Luka Dean, because if you have, you can just play him, Saliba, and just make one other transfer. I would say, I think you'll probably be okay. Most people don't have amazing defenses this week. Like Udogi, Cash, and Trippier are pretty good defenders for FPL, but they've all got away fixtures. Opinions on Ribena as an option. I used to like Ribena a lot. I think less so now. Probably because they've taken a lot of the sugar out. So I don't really drink any like squash or fizzy drinks with sugar anymore. But back in the day, Ribena with sugar. Damn, good stuff. Probably too good. Sheriff, 24 months member, thank you very much. True, but argument is minutes and not 100% on penalties, and still City and Liverpool attacks superior. Yeah, if we're talking about Son, fair enough. Like, I don't think Son. I mean, I've said this loads of times. Son is not essential. Son does not have to be captain this week. If you don't want to captain Son, go for Salah, go for Haaland. There's no issues with doing that. Just in my team, I think Son is the best option. Could he blank? Yes, he could. Could he return? Yes, he could. Let's just hope luck is on my side. Vimeo is better than Ribena. I mean, if you get the name wrong, you can't say that. You can't say that. It can't be that good if you've not even bothered to spell it right, you know? Gabriel, Rashford, Alvarez to Cash, Son, Solanke, -4. Yeah, quite like that, even with a wildcard 10. Yeah, I'd probably do that. If I had Davern, would I captain him over Son? No. Would you have Alvarez on wildcard? I potentially would, yeah. Against Brighton, Bournemouth, and Man United is too good to turn down. Yeah, if he starts all those games, he's great. Absolutely. I mean, just a week or two ago, everyone had him, right? You can get with sugar again. Drinking it now, dying. Hopefully not. Did you see FPL Raptors no Haaland draft? I haven't seen the draft, but I haven't seen his particular draft, but I have seen lots of no Haaland drafts this week, yeah. Who to pinch, Mitoma or Alvarez or Odegaard? Who to pinch? I guess she means sell, right? Mitoma, Alvarez, Odegaard or Rashford? Probably Mitoma. Would you go Trippier, Diaby, Neto, or Burn, Madison, Solanke? Trippier. Probably Trippier, Diaby, Neto, I think, just about. Why is no one talking about Madison captain? Because most people have Son or Salah. That's it, really. And most of us think that Son is probably on penalties, but Madison could take them. They might even just give one to Richarlison. Who knows? Although he's scored now, hasn't he? I think he's scored, right? He scored in the Sheffield United game. Douglas Luiz, Sofal or Neto. Douglas Luiz Sofal or Neto Lamptey. Probably, I don't really like either of them, but probably Neto Lamptey. I really don't like Douglas Luiz. I don't get this. I know he's on penalties, right? And look, over the next 5 weeks, they could get 3 penalties and then suddenly he looks great. But that is really what you're relying on. I mean, potentially, by the way, for Villa, and lots of people are probably doing it this week, you can easily go cash Diaby and Watkins. You might want to triple up on Villa. Do you really want to lose a place with Douglas Luiz? He scored 3 times already, I get it. But if he doesn't get a penalty, I don't know, maybe he's great. Maybe he's great. Adults drink mulled wine. I think I'd rather drink Ribena, if I'm honest. I'm not selling Man United players for hits, basically. Douglas Luiz is definitely scoring this week, isn't he? Sammy, how's it going? I'm on a wild card. Trippier and Burma and Alvarez or share Maddison Watkins. Probably share Maddison Watkins. You'll be tripling up on Villa and Spurs. Nice. On a wild card, Diaz and Archer or Bruno and Mubama. Probably Bruno and Mubama. Honestly, I think Bruno's better than Diaz still. Wildcard 19 have Cash, Botman, Udogi, Eshapini, and to Mitchell. Well, I mean, you're not. The thing is, you're relying on Botman being back for game week 9 because Mitchell's next 2 fixtures after this week aren't great. So I'd be tempted to go like, I don't know, like Pau Torres, maybe Dan Burns, someone like that, if you got the money. Porro. What do you think about Luiz in midfield if you can't afford Bo and Diaby? Look, I think for his price and the fact he's on penalties, he's probably okay. I just can't see me doing that anytime soon. But never say never. Maybe I do Rashford and Fernandes to Douglas Luiz and Salah. Do I think AI has affected thinking this season? No, I don't think so. Alvarez or Watkins if no Haaland? I think Watkins is better than Alvarez, but obviously there's a money difference, so you need to take that into account. No early team news that I've seen. We still got 42 minutes to the deadline, so you might get something, but so far not looking great. Is Solanke better than Watkins long term? Watkins is better, but there's a big price difference. So what are you going to do with that money? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Do I think Son still plays as a striker with the injuries to their wingers? Yeah, I think it'll be Richarlison, Son, Kulusevski. Almost certainly. I think Palace defenders are pretty good, but only for one of the next 3 weeks. McAllister? No, I wouldn't bother putting McAllister in midfield, I don't think. I'd rather go for like Neto or Gordon or someone like that. McAllister's probably just not attacking enough, really. Yep, no early team news. If we got early team news, you'll hear about it. Do not panic. Do not panic. Would I play Kabori or Saliba? Saliba, I think. Better defense. I know much harder fixture, but better defense by a long way. Not wildcarded, no. Like, I know. There's still loads of people that think I will say something, and really deep down, I'm just waiting for the deadline stream to go against that. But if I was close to wildcard, I would have told you by now. Like as soon as the stream started, I'm probably not wildcarding without. Like, if suddenly we get team news that Son's not playing, Rashford's out of the team, maybe I'd do it, but I'd probably not. And I feel okay about it. I might feel a little bit less okay about it by tomorrow, but right now I feel okay about it. I don't know how many of the games I'm going to get to watch today either. I'll try and watch the first game. I don't know about any after that. Yeah, I would definitely have it in the title if I was wildcarding, right? Because lots of people are wildcarding this week. Have Madison's have Maddison, Son, Rashford, Foden, Saka, one free transfer wildcard next week. Saka to Diaz or Fernandes or someone else that you like. Do you know what? I do think that Fernandes is just better than Diaz, but as a punt, I really like Diaz. Honestly. I mean, look, Fernandes' ownership is not super high right now. So it's not like... I mean, you could class Fernandes as a punt, really. I quite like Diaz. Would you sell Haaland for Salah or keep Haaland and have Luis Diaz? I would probably just keep Haaland, but I would find a way to get Salah eventually. But Salah's not like essential this week or anything like that. Your team looks strong. I mean, on paper, yes, but obviously we know there's issues with Pickford, Mbeumo, Fernandes, Rashford. They're the key four, really. That is the four players. I think, look, I would rather have Watkins than Alvarez, but I don't think Alvarez is a major issue. Like, no one was saying that a week ago before Watkins got 5 returns. So yeah. Are you just trolling us and using the wild card and showing us a second account? No. Why would I do that? Not happening. If I was wildcarding, I would tell you. If you had both Salah and Son, who would you captain? I think probably Son, but Salah's great too. Would you sell... Saka bench and Archer to score? Could happen. I think if I was keeping Saka, I'd probably just start him though. Rashford to Son for a -4 or wait and get Salah game week 9. I'd probably wait. I don't think I would take Rashford out for a -4, but that's just me. I'm sure most people in this chat probably would. Can you give a points projection of Watkins and Alvarez over the next, say, 5 game weeks? I think Watkins is ahead of Alvarez, mostly due to fixtures. Absolutely nailed. Great minutes. I mean, to be fair, Alvarez might also have all those things, but yeah, Watkins great. Any news on Diaby? No, he's training today, and then they're going to make a call on him. That's all we know. I don't think Wilson starts, but I know that some people do. It depends how minor that injury was. I mean, we can look at the... Hang on a second. We can look at the... Let me just bring this up here. We can look at the points projections on Hub for 5 games. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I need to use my fingers to count like that. So Watkins will be ahead. He's at 25.9 and Alvarez is 23.6. I mean, that's not a huge amount given the price difference. Although interesting, I think the minutes probably aren't... I don't see how Watkins can be on less minutes than Alvarez. But yeah, not a huge difference either way. So then it's kind of what can that money do for you? That's the kind of thing you got to look at. Is Salah essential for wildcard teams? He would definitely be on mine. Definitely be on mine. I don't think he's essential. Like, I've gone through this a lot this week, but any player you don't want, you can easily make a case that there's another captain option. Like, let's just go through the game weeks, right? And let's say, did I do this? I feel like I did this yesterday, but I'm going to do it again anyway. Let's say I want to go no Haaland. Right, well, Son captain this week. Game week 9, I captain Salah against Liverpool. I captain Salah against Everton at home. Early kickoff, by the way. International break. Game week 10, I captain Salah. I captain Saka against Sheffield United. I captain Salah against Forest. Game week 11, I captain Salah against Luton away. And game week 12, probably Salah against Brentford at home. Or Rashford or Fernandes against Luton at home. Or Saka against Burnley, right? Easy. You don't need Haaland, right? But you can do that exact same thing with Salah, right? Look, I don't need Salah because look at the captains. I'll captain Son this week. In game week 9, I'll captain Haaland against Brighton at home. In game week 10, I'll captain Saka against Sheffield United at home. And in game week 11, guess what? I'll captain Haaland against Bournemouth at home. So you can just go through that for all the players. And that is why I genuinely think going for none of Haaland or Salah... don't go for none. Going for one of Haaland or Salah or both is perfectly fine. It really is. As long as you get lucky with captains. I can't remember what the question was now, but... Oh yeah, is Salah essential? No. Would I have him? Yes. Any ideas on Foden starting? No. I don't know if Luke's done his prediction yet. He's not really doing it necessarily every single week. But I know some people think he's not going to start. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. The problem is, like, Bernardo Silva's back now as well. I think, will he go a bit more defensive-minded against a team like Arsenal? Like, I think you want Bernardo Silva on the right, or maybe even playing central, right? I don't know about Foden. Do I know Saka's not starting, but scared to say? No, I have no idea. The guy that's told me before about Arsenal news basically said that what came out yesterday about how they're still waiting to decide is true. They're still waiting to decide. So I don't know if he's starting or not. Who would I rather in goal this week, a Nana or a Turner? I'd probably a Nana, I think. Just about. Turner's going to get a clean sheet, isn't he? Not happy about that at all. 34 minutes to go. Show your wildcard team. I don't have a wildcard team. In Burmo, not an issue at all. Still a great pick. Yeah, I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's as bad as people are making out. He didn't look great against Forest, but that was one game, right? Who knows? Against Man United and Burnley at home, he could be great. And I also think when you compare him to other midfielders in and around that price, Diaby's a doubt this week. Ward-Prowse is fine, but it's Newcastle at home, Villa away. It's not easy fixtures. I think Mbeumo's fine next too. I think game week 10 onwards is the big problem. I think it's the big problem. I thought you didn't get any Arsenal early team news anymore. I'm not getting it for I've said to pretty much, I haven't had the team for ages, but basically I don't want the team on like a Friday when they're not playing till Saturday, because I just don't want that kind of pressure. Like sometimes he sends that in, or sometimes he sends it super late and it's just not needed. But if it's like in advance where I can share it, then that's different. But everything that's come out this week has been same thing basically. Some Spurs news coming in. Don't tell me. Kulusevski, Richarlison and Son all start. Aren't you the definition of insanity for sticking with Bruno and Rashford? Probably. Diaz and Højlund or Darwin and Bruno? Darwin and Bruno. Transfer out Gordon for Neto or play Morris? Play Morris. Mitoma and Taylor or Neto plus 4.8 million defender? Probably Neto and a 4.8 million defender, so not cash now. Pau Torres, Dan Burn. No, you can't even get Udogi now either. Something like that. You save 1.3 million by wildcard on Saturday. Very nice. Very nice. Obviously, that money is only realised, though, if you sell... I mean, that money is realised in two ways. One, everyone else needs to get those players in. They're more expensive. Therefore, you've got money to spend elsewhere. Or that you sell them, right, with the money that you've made. So down the road, it will definitely be a big thing. But maybe in the next couple of weeks, maybe not so much. I'm dreading wildcarding in 10 with such little team value. Luis Diaz or Richarlison if I already own Son and Maddison. Luis Diaz or Richarlison if I already own Son. I think I like Richarlison, to be honest, this week. Not necessarily next week, though. Son for Saka or Rashford. I'd sell Saka before Rashford, I think. Sell Saka or Sterling to get Son in for a -4 hit. I mean, I think you want Saka longer term, so I'm going to say Sterling. Oh, you're going to use wildcard in 9 or 10? I think I'd still sell Sterling in your case, I think. I use wildcard... hang on. Do a poll on team. You don't need to do a poll on team value. You'll know who's got high team value because they'll tell you every day. I'm looking at you, Business Cat. I used wildcard last week. Botman and Gordon red flag on my bench. Botman and Gordon red flag on my bench. Have to play Morris or Kabori. Should I take a -4 to avoid playing Morris? I'll probably just play Morris. Yeah, Watkins 8.1. I mean, to be honest, I never really had any plans to get him in game week 10 anyway. I know the fixtures are great, but that wasn't my original plan of wildcard. So I don't know about him. I might go for him because the fixtures are so good. Gordon, Neto, Chukwuemeka as a long term as an enabler for long term. I mean, Chukwuemeka's the enabler, really, isn't he? But I think I prefer Gordon over Neto just about, as long as you can cover him this week. If not, just go for Neto. Saka or Foden for Diaz? Probably Foden. Oh, wildcard 9. I don't know. I think that's really tough. I don't know if Foden's going to start, and I don't know if Saka's going to start. If they both play, Saka's the better option. So I'll say get rid of Foden, but Saka might not play. Wildcard, Bowen and Solanke or Diaby and Darwin. I prefer Bowen and Solanke, to be honest. I just think on wildcard, I would be looking. I know it's very boring to say, but I'd be looking to limit the risks on minutes. I think Bowen and Solanke start every game. I mean, so will Diaby, and Darwin will start most. I just think Bowen and Solanke gives you less issues. Will I have Pickford in my wildcard? Absolutely not. He will be the first player that I sell, I think. I might even take a video of it. Richarlison for fantasy draft, yeah. Not a bad option. I don't know if Solanke is better than Alvarez, to be honest, but I do think he's a good option for his price. Like, he is cheaper. Take that into account. Everyone who's wildcard into my team need to use it to advantage near Christmas. You should just use it when you need it. I wouldn't worry about what everyone else is doing, really. Is Pickford one of my worst picks ever? Not really. I mean, in terms of outcome, it's not been great. I don't think it was a bad pick, though. I would have changed it if I could go back, but still think it would have been a bit unlucky. I'm sure I've made many worse picks than that. On wildcard is two times 3.9 million defenders 2 weeks. All I will say is, if you're thinking about doing that, look at this week. Look at this week. And like, how many issues can crop up? Do you want 3.9 million defenders to get out of that? Probably not. I don't know if Saka's starting. Start Archer or Morris. I mean, I think you go Morris, don't you? Given that he's at home. I mean, he's not necessarily fantastic this week, but he is on penalties. Probably can't say the same for Archer. I don't necessarily like Lascelles as a pick. I think a lot of people's wildcard teams from this week will look dead average in 4 to 5 weeks. I do think defenses might suffer, but then you got to remember, people will have transfers to kind of sort it out, so it's not a huge issue. I don't think. Oh my days! I still can't stop itching my freaking nose. Just on Pickford, though, I'm telling you now, I predicted this the other day. People are going to wild card into Areola and Turner, and they're going to play Turner because of Crystal Palace's attacking issues, and he's going to get a clean sheet. And meanwhile, I'm going to have Turner on my bench, and Pickford's going to blank again. I can just tell it already. I think I've got to play Pickford because he's at home, but that's my prediction. I don't know. I don't know what the clean sheet odds are. I think Everton are slightly ahead of Forest, which you'd expect, right? Home and away. Yeah, Everton 36%, Forest 29%. Yeah, Everton lost a lot of games at home this season. Poor. Yeah, obviously I could bench Pickford, but I'm not gonna. I'm just saying that's just a pessimistic FPL manager view that everything's gonna go wrong, right? I think I've got to play the guy at home. Thoughts on Decore for this week? He's okay. He's not someone I would want in my midfield long term, I don't think. Okay, as a punt maybe if you need someone really cheap. Oliver, thank you very much. Faisal, I have Haaland, Alvarez, Foden, Son. Oh, I have Haaland, Alvarez, Foden, Son for Foden -4. If you're going to captain him, yeah, I like that. Why have I got Pickford? Everton's awful. I know. Like I said, I'm an awful FPL manager. There's so many other people you can watch instead of me that don't have Jordan Pickford. Wildcard, double Newcastle defence or Nunez and Watkins. I don't get that. Defence versus attackers. I mean, Nunez and Watkins is pretty nice. And one Newcastle defender is probably fine. Not sure if you talked about this, but is it worth triple captaining Son? Nope. Well, I mean, I'm not saying it's definitely not worth it. I mean, it's a good fixture, but if you're going to use it, I think you say if you're going to use it in a single game week, you probably wait for Haaland at home to someone really good, or you just wait for double game week. The double game week for Haaland around game week 20 could be 2 home fixtures. I think like Brentford at home and Sheffield United at home. Like, if that happens, if it happens in game week 20, Brentford at home, Sheffield United at home, every person is going to triple captain Haaland in that week. And we'll have to go through those conversations of people saying it's better to go for less points for more rank gain, and they won't understand the maths on that, and it'll be amazing. Do you think you will start streaming on X at some point? I mean, not over YouTube, that's for sure. Let's see what they're trying to do over there. Would you have 2 Foreman in defenders and Chukwuemeka? No, probably not. The thing is, right, it looks great this week when you're pretty sure that everyone you're bringing in is wildcard. But as soon as you start getting issues in that team, you're then forced into transfers. I mean, look, I'm taking Saka out for a hit because I've got an issue. I could just play Archer. But I think let's say I'd already wildcarded, there's no way I would take Saka out for a hit this week, I don't think. I'd probably just play Archer or just play Saka because I know I've got that bench cover. I just think 2 3.9s and Chukwuemeka is just so weak, I think. And then your 3 starting defenders will be Burn, Cash, and Udogie. That doesn't even sound that great long term. I think it's too many sacrifices. I think you got to drop an attacker. That's what I would do anyway. Areola is better than Pickford in FPL. Areola is cheaper for 0.4. He's actually not. He's only 0.2 cheaper. And that could be. I mean, Pickford's going to drop soon. And Areola will probably go up in price, so they'll actually be the same price soon. Saka and Rashford to Son and Diaz for a -4. I guess so if you're taking captaincy into account, but I'm not completely convinced by that. You could just do Saka to. If you could just do Saka to Son for free, I would just do that. What are your thoughts on Pedro Porro as captain? I wouldn't be captain as Spurs defender, to be honest. I mean, there's so many good attackers this week. Why am I not talking about Sterling? I've talked about Sterling quite a lot. If you have Salah, would you captain him or Son? Probably Son. I had to take a hit to get cash. I'm sure a lot of people have done that. Who are you funding? Trippier and Burn or Trippier and Luka Dean? Trippier and Burn, I think. Like, Moreno will be back at some point, and Luka Dean is on 4 yellow cards. If you had to support another team except United, who would you support? I don't think you can really answer that, can you? It's like, I don't know. Imagine if Son is benched, the site would definitely crash. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be able to get my wild card locked in, that's for sure. I don't think he will be, though. I think he's almost certainly going to start. I just need to check. Sorry. Am I doing Saka to Madison? Yeah, probably, yeah. I'm now getting a little bit worried about Pickford and Turner. I think I've got to play Pickford. But I think Solanke's going to score because I think Solanke's great. Billericay Town are 1 game away from the FA Cup first round. Good luck. Good luck. Hope they win. That'd be amazing. Any news on Diaby? You're not going to get any more news on Diaby before the deadline, I don't think. Let's talk gaming today. Probably not. Probably not. Last night I played some Foot Champs. I think I went 3 wins, 7 losses. To be honest, because I just don't have enough time to play 20 games over a weekend. As soon as I'm like 2-0 down, I just rage quit. It's not even rage. I just think I've got to get through these games, so I just quit straight away. Not playing Wild Classic at the moment, no. Although I probably am still paying for the subscription. Osula Darwin / Gordon Diaby for -4 or start Kabori. I'm not sure what the move is there. I'd rather Gordon Diaby, I think. I wouldn't take Darwin out for a -4. That sounds a bit weird. Unless I'm missing that. Has to be Turner over Pickford. Palace without Eze will be toothless. I know, that's playing on my mind, but I hate making decisions based on one player being out. Like, if Eze was playing, we wouldn't be saying that. Is Eze that big of a miss? Maybe he is. But I'm going to go for the guy at home and hope for the best. Hope for the best. Stick to the plan, basically. Stick to the plan. Yeah, I think on paper it looks okay, my team, but it's not. We'll see. We'll see. I'd love to keep up with the Game Week 8 wildcard this week. That would be very nice. I mean, deep down, I'm hoping the Game Week 8 wildcard crashes and burns. But apart from the players that I own. Which, to be fair, is a lot of them, right? Newcastle defender, Cash, triple Spurs, Haaland. It really is just, like, the big difference is between mine and the Game Week 8 wildcard is Pickford, Rashford, Fernandes, and Burmo and Alvarez for Areola or Turner, Diaby, Ward-Prowse, Salah, and Watkins mostly. But then they don't have Trippier if they got Watkins, so it's not too late to wildcard. Absolutely, agree. Is tripling up on Newcastle defence crazy? Not crazy, but they have got to play Man United, Chelsea, and Arsenal between now and game week 14. And they're all at home, to be fair. I don't think I would be looking to go for it now. Starting to think you were right delaying the wildcard. I'm not so sure about that. It's going to cost me a -4 to get close to it. So it's not... It ain't fantastic, I would say. Do 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 do. Udogie is benched. Don't think so. I hope not. I really hope not. Andy, let me know your thoughts on what? I can let you know my thoughts on air fryers. We bought one recently. They're great. They're great. Use it a lot. Late Riser posted the same Spurs team as last week. Where's he got that from? Solanke or Darwin. I mean, if Darwin keeps starting, then he's great. It really depends on that, and also the money difference is like $1 million difference, right? We have had an air fryer for a while, but we got like a better one now. My transfers are cash in for Eshipina, and I'm probably going to be... I think I'm going to do Maddison to Saka to Maddison for a hit. Oh, but I don't know. Oh, Saka might start though. I don't know. I guess he's enough of a doubt to warrant doing it. I'm late. What's the news? There's no news that I've seen. I mean, presumably Kulusevski, Kulusevski, Son, Richarlison, Udogie and Porro will all start, and that's the 5 players we're really looking at, right? I mean, for a lot of people, they're not even looking at Richarlison, so. Is Watkins essential? I wouldn't say he's essential, but he is damn good. He's damn good. I see some people in the chat putting rumours Rashford's bench. Where are these rumours coming from? I mean, I've spent all week saying there's just no chance that happens. I've got to be honest, I'm a little bit worried. But I haven't seen it anywhere. Why aren't I wildcarding? Because I'm hoping Rashford starts. Sell one of your United players for Spurs. I'm going to sell Saka to Spurs. I think. I saw on Sky's. Oh, I saw on Sky's newspaper gossip or whatever that one of the papers had Rashford potentially getting benched, but I don't know. As a United fan, benching Onana for Leno hurts me. I mean, Leno's pretty good this week. I mean, Leno's great this week. Not even just pretty good, he's great. I already have Salah and I'm -4 away from my perfect wildcard team. When is the best time to wildcard outside game week 10? I mean, when you need it, really. Most people, if you're not going to wildcard by 10, most people are probably going to try and hold it until 19, I reckon. Ahead of the double game week for Man City. Alvarez or Bowen on wildcard? Probably Bowen, just about. We did a captaincy poll earlier. It was like 55%. 55% Son, 20-something% Salah. Justify keeping Bruno and Rashford and selling Saka. Saka's a doubt for the game. Son or Salah captain? I'm going to say Son, but I think Salah's really good this week. I'm very worried about not having him. Surely Sheffield United score against a leaky Fulham defence. I mean, they could. The Fulham defence is bad, but that is one of the best fixtures you're going to get all season. Sheffield United at home. So I think Leno's pretty decent this week. Get Darwin for Osula or Diaby for Gordon for -4. Oh, gotcha. I would do Darwin for Osula then. And that makes more sense. Is Isak a minutes risk? I mean, yeah. Long term, he definitely is. I think that Wilson is a bit of a doubt for this game, but generally Isak's a minute risk. I don't think Isak is any better or worse than Darwin. I mean, arguably he's maybe slightly worse because Wilson's definitely fully capable of coming in and playing instead. I think for this week I'll be tempted to keep Isak, but it's not a guaranteed start, especially after starting against PSG. Archer will give a lot of managers bench pain this week. Archer's stats are so bad, by the way. I can't show you on here. 0.09 expected goals per 90, 0.03 expected assists. That is awful. Now, to be fair, they have played Spurs, Newcastle and West Ham. But even against Everton, where he got 2 returns, 0.17 expected goals total. He's been terrible, honestly. Sell Haaland. Haaland, without wildcard, Haaland is the least of my worries. With no more free transfers. Will I give up on Rashford and Fernandes at some point, yeah? Am I not stressing about not owning any Liverpool attackers? I'm a little bit worried about Salah, yeah, but it is what it is. I'll just wildcard him in soon, I expect. We're sticking to the plan, even though the plan is probably very bad. I feel like a lot is riding on this wild card. What happens when this week is another stinker? Well, I mean, the team will still look good in game week 9, won't they, for people that wild card this week, so it won't be a huge issue. 2 goals for Archer incoming, probably, yeah. We got 11 minutes left before the deadline. Got to respect the dedication of sticking to the game week 10 wild card plan. Yeah, I mean, look, there's lots of reasons to wildcard this week. Injuries were a big thing, but I mean, a lot of people popped the wildcard before some of these injuries even happened, right? Like Eshapinian, for example. Same with Saka. People had already popped the wildcard before those 2 things. So for a lot of people, the reason they wildcard is because they were sick of Man United players. They wanted to get Spurs and they wanted to catch a bunch of price rises. Plus, Watkins just smashed Brighton. They were the main reasons people originally wildcarded. Since then, obviously, Saka injury, Eshapinian injury, that's made more people wildcard. I just didn't feel like that was necessarily enough. Like, Watkins went from barely mentioned in Game Week 7 wildcards to essential for Game Week 8. Like, he's a great, solid option, right? He has been all season, been super consistent, but it didn't feel like enough to wildcard. So, have I seen enough since then to make me change it? Maybe I should have, but yeah. Do, 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 do. Start Morris or Anderson? Probably Morris. Should I do Mbermo or Foden to Madison? I'd probably do Foden, honestly. It's quite close. Start Trent or Cash? Probably Trent. I don't know. That's. I mean, Cash has got the easier fixture for a clean sheet. I think Trent probably a bit more attacking. I don't know actually. I feel like Trent's one of those players. If you got him, I feel like you can't bench him. So I think I would start Trent. I actually don't know if that's the correct decision. Bowen, Nunez, or Diaby, Madison. Oh, Bowen, Nunez, or Diaby, Madison on wildcard. Probably Diaby, Madison. Best 4.5 million defenders. Probably Villa. Pau Torres, Konza, someone like that off the top of my head. I was going to wildcard game week 9, but injuries to Bottom and Estepinian and Eze and Saka being a doubt forced me. Yeah. By the way, I'm not saying that everyone wildcarded this week for the same reason. Like I said, a few people later on definitely got hit by injuries. I'm just saying people that wildcarded on Saturday, Sunday, there is Man United frustration. Watkins absolutely smashed it, and obviously team value changes as well. And look, I absolutely might have made the wrong decision in not wildcarding. I'm prepared to be hit by that this week and take the comments. Luckily, it's an international break, so the amount of videos will probably be a bit less this week anyway. But yeah. We'll see. If Man United could turn up and score some goals, that would be a very good start. Very, very good start. Right, I guess I got to make this Saka decision. I'm not seeing any further news about him. He's going to start, isn't he? I think my main problem with selling Saka for a hit is I'm almost certain he'll start because he always freaking starts. It's just how many minutes he gets, and obviously it's a tough fixture. I'm not happy about selling Saka for a hit. But I think I'm going to do it. I hope he doesn't start. Just hope he doesn't start. Sterling to Diaby or roll and start Wissa. Probably roll, yeah, and start him. Who do you think is better between Burn, Diaby and Isak versus Cher, Madison and Hoyland? I actually think Cher, Madison and Hoyland might be better there, to be honest. I think Hoyland's minutes are better than Isak. Madison's definitely better than Diaby. And Cher's better than Burn. So, I don't think there's any contest. Salah or Son captain? I'm going to say Son, but again, Salah's quite close. Start Archer or Mitchell on wildcard? I'd probably start the attacker. I know. I don't think I need to take a hit. The thing is, what's the worst case scenario? That Saka is benched and comes on for a 1 point cameo. Even then, Madison's got to score more than 5 points. And if Saka's out of the squad completely, then Archer comes on. But can Madison outscore Archer? I think he can. I mean, worst case scenario if I remove him for a hit is Saka obviously starts, gets a penalty, scores 10 points. But I'm just tempted to do it. That was my move anyway. I mean, I could frame it as Saka to Madison for free, and I've done Estepinian to Cash for a hit. I don't know. I just feel like those two players are okay to take a hit for. I do think the fact that I'm wildcarding probably soon means it's probably less worth it, because I think it's got less time to kind of make the points up. I could really need it to make it up this week, essentially. Hopefully you see this before deadline. Who do you prefer between Awani, Solanke and Hoyland? Probably Solanke. I think he's got less competition for minutes than Awani. Sell Sterling or Saka for a -4 to Son and captain him. I mean, I think you want Saka long term, so probably Sterling. If you're not wildcarding soon. Kulusevski or Richarlison on a punt? Richarlison. Haaland, Diaby, Burn or Darwin, Bowen, Trippier? Probably Haaland, Diaby, Burn, I would say. So apparently, there's some Spurs new info out, which looks like Son number 9, Richarlison starts, and so does Maddison. Saka coming on for a 1-point cameo. Arsenal getting a penalty and yeah, if I sell Saka, I'd love him to keep giving away penalties right up until the point that I'm getting him back. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna do it. I've not seen any other Arsenal news. I don't think we're gonna get anything either before the deadline. I don't think we're going to get anything else for the deadline. I'm just going to do it. This is going to go so wrong. I kind of wanted the Spurs triple up for the next 2 games. The thing is, Saka against Chelsea away in Game Week 9 is not even that bad. Like, he could absolutely outscore Maddison against Fulham at home. Now we pray. Now we pray. I'm not even sure Maddison's a better captain than Rashford or Fernandes, to be honest. I feel like it's a good week to go against Haaland. So -4 locked in. That's my first hit of the season. First hit of the season. I'm definitely wildcard in Game Week 10. I don't think there's any chance I can go against it now. Terrible move. I mean, all my moves are terrible. All my moves are terrible. You should know that by now. Saka scoring a hat-trick. I mean, hopefully not against Man City. But you never know. He is that good. He is that good. I just hope he doesn't start now. I just hope he doesn't start. Changing Arsenal players was so much better when we always had the early info. How much value will I lose on SGP net? It depends when you bought him. Just go on. You go on transfers and click on list. You can see how much you bought a player for, how much you get if you sell, and how much they'll cost you to buy again if you want them back. Basically. I should have wildcarded. I probably should have wildcarded. It's done though. Which FPL YouTuber you really want to be above in ranking? All of them, because I want to finish number 1. Maddison has 18 returns in his last 20 away games. Nice, nice. Team news, apparently Maddison, Kulusevski, Richarlison all starting. So are Doggy and Porro. But other than that, we haven't got anything. No Arsenal, no Villa, nothing. Nothing like a panic transfer. I mean, as you can tell right now by my general demeanour and the way I'm talking, I'm absolutely panicked about that Saka to Maddison move. Absolutely panicked. Udogie bench, true or fake news? I think fake. I think fake. I think he's starting. I think. Although to be fair, I thought Botman was starting last week, and look what happened there. Look what happened there. Cheers, Chris. Yeah, EAFC 24 stream. Probably not going to happen, I'd say. Okay, let's just check. I've got. I don't know if Maddison definitely is the best next captain. Do you know what? I definitely want to go against Haaland. I'm gonna stick to who I think's on penalties. Let's just do this. Take a screen. I can't believe I'm playing Pickford again. I can't believe 7 game weeks. I've still not had a freaking, clean sheet. It's mental. I got 1 minute to the deadline, so start getting your teams locked in. I would not be leaving it too last minute now. You're probably not going to get any Arsenal, Villa, team news, Man United, anything like that at this point. We just have to pray. You switched to Saka captain last minute. Saka's a great captain this week, honestly. I mean, a lot of people would probably argue he's better than Son, and I probably wouldn't argue back that much. Captain in Burma and Hedge versus Man United. Nope. Definitely not. we have any news about Sterling starting? Nope. You're going to regret Pickford over Turner? Probably. I've regretted my goalkeeper choice most weeks. I'm well used to it at this point. Rashford or Saka for Son -4. It really depends on when you're wildcarding, right? Like you are probably going to want Saka by game week 10. Saka is not a good captain over Son. Did I say Saka? Salah is who I meant. We're locked in. We're locked in. Oh, God, I hope Saka's benched now. I really hope Saka's benched. And I really hope Rashford plays. We're locked. We're locked in. I'm dreading this week. I'm dreading this week so much. I feel pretty calm about my team and choices in general, but I'm still not completely happy about hang on a sec. Still not completely happy. At least we got through it without wildcarding. Or at least I got through it without wildcarding. Pickford is so bad. Why did you switch from Onana? Are you trying to say Onana's been good? I mean, he's got more points, I guess. Saka starts and gets a goal. Rashford bench, calling it now. Yeah, could happen. Could happen. I mean, if Saka starts, it's a mistake to get Maddison for a -4. I'm taking a risk on the minutes, basically. Am I watching the Spurs game from behind the sofa? Wow, I've got triple Spurs. I think my team looks alright, yeah. Don't think it's that bad. Salah would be nice. I mean, for my team, I'd love it if Diaby was benched as well, but I think he'll play. I think he's a good pick, but obviously I don't own him, so it'd be nice if he's benched. Why would Rashford get benched? Just general performances. Lots of people calling for it. Like, lots of fans calling for it. But I don't think it's much more than that. But you don't know, do you? Will Garnacho get a start and Rashford bench? Possibly. But I think the chances are very low. Things ain't getting over. Saka has started the last 88 league games. I don't think that's true. I think he's played in the last 88 league games. He definitely hasn't started the last 88 because he was benched versus Leeds last year. In game week 26, I want to say. Right, I'm leaving it there. If you've enjoyed that stream, make sure to give it a like, hit that subscribe button. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok as well. Yes, I'm on TikTok, even though I'm so old. Thank you very much. Podcast as well. I'm everywhere. Can't get away from it. I mean, you can just not listen and block me. Listen, go and watch someone else's stream. That always works. But otherwise, enjoy your weekend. Fingers crossed that all my players get points. And we can have a nice Sunday knee-jerk stream. As it stands right now, I think I'm going to be talking about Pickford, Rashford, Fernandes in Burma again, how rubbish they are. And yeah, I'll start looking towards Game Week 9, wildcard drafts and all that good stuff. If I don't see you, enjoy the international break. Fingers crossed. Catch you later.